What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris. It's your boy Chris. It's another amazing episode of Financipation. This channel is all about making money, saving money, building generational wealth, and financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. On this channel, everybody, I give you a six-figure MBA level worth of investing and financial knowledge for free here on YouTube. And the things that people typically spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn in grad school, I give it to you for free here on Financipation. And I have an MBA, so I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, okay? Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Killer Solutions. They're one of my sponsors. If you need digital marketing, website development, or someone to essentially edit your YouTube videos, they're the best in the business of meeting all of your digital needs, okay? Also, please hit that notification bell so that you know when I'm dropping new content, and please like, please comment, please share, and please subscribe. So let's get started. A lot of times, everybody on this channel, I talk about investing, I talk about entrepreneurship, I talk about starting businesses, I talk about dominating corporate America and things of that nature. Well, this is going to be one of my podcasts for my 9-to-5ers, and it's specifically going to be for my 9-to-5ers that know they're good at what they do and who want to basically command a sign-on bonus. And that's what we're going to talk about in this particular podcast, okay? How to negotiate a sign-on bonus. So the first way to negotiate a sign-on bonus is to be prepared before you walk into that interview. Everybody, do extensive research on any company that you're interviewing with. Even if you know 100% you do not want to work for that particular company, the starting salary they offer you can be used as a negotiation, essentially, to get paid more money when you actually interview with a company that you do want to work for. You should know, everybody, when the company started. You should know who their VPs are. You should know who their president is. You know who the CEO is. You should have a history of ideas as far as when that company got started and what are some of the things that they do. You obviously should know the industry that you're interviewing for. You should also have some kind of rough idea about what kind of projects they work on, as well as the revenue that they generate every year. Everybody, you need to know what specific computer programs they use. You should be so familiar essentially with that particular company that is honestly sitting down like talking to a person who you've met before, even though you have never seen them. And before your interview, everybody, you have to essentially understand the demand for your particular skill set. You have to be very confident in explaining the value that you bring to that organization. I am a mechanical engineer. I can literally rattle off all the computer programs that I know. I can rattle off the credentials that I have. I can rattle off my advanced degrees. I can rattle off my bachelor's degrees, my master's degrees. I can essentially tell you in an elevator speech or over the course of a 30-minute interview session what projects I built, what projects I've worked on, and essentially what value that I bring to the table. Because everybody's like this. No employer is going to give you a sign-on bonus if it's clear you are not prepared for that meeting. So before you set foot inside that door, you need to be as prepared as possible. So once again, everybody, do your research and know what options are available to you, and keep the conversation going towards what is beneficial for the company, what kind of value you bring to that particular company and the company that you're interviewing with. Make sure you make it clear to them how you can help their bottom line. Simple as that. Next, the second way to get a sign-on bonus is to handle yourself competently and professionally during that interview. This is what I always advise my clients to do, okay? You need to arrive 30 minutes early to that particular interview. This gives you literally roughly 10 to 15 minutes to kind of get your mind right, to kind of get comfortable, and essentially to relax. I personally always got to an interview. If I had an interview that started at 9 o'clock, I personally was physically sitting in my vehicle at 8:30. I did that because I wanted to make sure that I was completely comfortable before I walked into that door. I would then physically get up and walk into that interview 15 minutes on the dot before it started. I would also be very polite and very friendly to the secretaries that work at the front desk, because at the end of the day, that secretary is the only person that says, yeah, you need to hire that person. I like how he made me feel. You need to hire that woman. I like how she made me feel. Obviously, everybody, it depends on your industry, but I personally always wore a black suit with a blue tie and nice dress shoes for every interview that I went in. And obviously, if you're in the tech industry, maybe you're a DJ or something like that, or maybe it's a different kind of industry, you have to dress for the industry that you're interviewing for. But for me personally, I always wore a black suit, white dress shirt, and a blue tie. That was just me personally. And that was even when I was in my construction days, my blue collar stuff, okay? I always dressed professionally for the interview. Additionally, be very attentive at what your potential and future employer is asking, and you need to have your questions pre-planned to ask. I would always have roughly 7 to 10 questions regardless when I walked into that door. And typically what would happen was about 2 to 3 of those questions would get answered prior to me actually answering, but I always made sure that I had a two-way conversation, almost like a game of tennis, where I had my questions pre-prepared and answered. Additionally, fellas, I'm not saying to overdo this, But at the end of the day, you are going to be working with an individual who may or may not look like you for 50 to 60 hours a week. So if I sat across the table from a female who was interviewing me, I always thought of it to some extent as a date. And I went out of my way to slightly charm her, and I made her laugh and smile before the end of that interview. Like I said, fellas, don't overdo it. But at the end of the day, you want to come across as a likable, charismatic individual that people want to spend literally 50 to 60 hours a week working with. So make her feel happy, fellas. Additionally, you also want to make whoever, whether it's male or female, feel comfortable and happy with the idea of you working next to them every day on different projects. Because at the end of the day, no one wants to work with the person who they hate for 50 or 60 hours a week, who literally just drags down the office every time they're around them, okay? So whether I'm interviewing with a man or a woman, it's irrelevant. I always coach my clients to essentially sit with their hands crossed, look at an individual between the eyes, not in their eyes, and essentially answer every question. During the interview, look for specifics about why you are the best candidate for that particular position, and do not be afraid to truthfully brag about yourself and the projects that you have basically built and the things that you've done over the years with your previous employer and your employers in the past. I personally will always talk about programs and how I use them to essentially speed up the process and make everything more efficient. I talked about projects that I basically brought in on time and ahead of schedule. And I talked about the value and the skill set that I brought to a table based off of the knowledge that I had as an engineer. Everybody, as I said earlier, no woman and no man wants to basically work with the individual who essentially drags down the room. So ideally, people, position yourself as the candidate that businesses and companies battle over. Because at the end of the day, just like no woman wants a man no other woman wants, no company wants a person that no other company wants. Also, if you know 3 or 4 of their biggest competitors, my personal advice is that you should interview with all 3 or 4 of them. And whoever offers you the most money, make sure that you are letting the company that you actually do want to work for. Well, company A, who's your competitor, offered me this. Can you match it? Yes or no? And if they can't match it, that's a great way to basically say, okay, if you can't match the salary, can you at least give me that $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000 sign-on bonus to basically kind of get up to that point? That's how you negotiate a sign-on bonus, everybody. Next, the next way to secure a sign-on bonus is to examine the total package when you are offered the job. So when you are offered a job, everybody, always look at the total compensation package and go from there. For instance, let's say company A is offering you a base salary of $80,000 a year, but they do not match any percentage of your 401k. And company B is offering you a base salary of $75,000, and they match the first $5,000 that you put into your 401k. In my professional opinion, you should go with company B, because that $5,000 match for your 401k is a tax efficient account that they're going to match. You're just basically going to make more money over the long haul working for company B. And if one company is offering you a base salary of $100,000, stock options, and a gas card and a company vehicle, and another company is offering you a base salary of $110,000, the same stock options, but no company vehicle and no gas card, you should strongly consider working for the first company that's offering you the gas card or the company vehicle, because those 2 items alone are worth at least $20,000 on the open market. Remember, everybody, a good total compensation package usually contains 5 elements: a good base salary, a performance bonus, a 401k match or stock options, healthcare and dental, and a good sign-on bonus, okay? The best of these 5 compensation elements, everybody, is the base salary, because that is the only one that is guaranteed every year. So I personally always put a very large premium on my base salary. But having said that, if the company once again was offering me a company vehicle, a gas card, they were offering me an insanely high ESOP program or an insanely high match for my Vanguard accounts or for my stock options, that's something I would consider as well. And if a sign-on bonus is not included in the online or in the job advertisement, it's quite simple, everybody. Ask for one. Simple as that. Do not be afraid, everybody, to ask for a sign-on bonus when you are sitting down discussing compensation. Or if they offer you the position, they don't offer you a sign-on bonus, do not be scared to simply ask for one. Be straightforward, be respectful about it, but make sure that you ask about a sign-on bonus and do not leave any future potential money on that table, okay? Before I go any further, please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop new content. Please hit that like button. Please share the video. Please comment. Please subscribe. It helps the algorithm, and I thoroughly enjoy giving you guys free content, okay? Next, the next way to secure a sign-on bonus is to negotiate it correctly after or before they offer you the job. So once they offer you the position, once they offered me a position anyway, I would personally always wait at least 12 hours before I accepted it. And I did that for two reasons. The first reason was I wanted to actually mull over the opportunity and make sure that I was being compensated correctly. And I also, more importantly, wanted to make sure that the other 2 or 3 companies that I was interviewing with would or would not offer me a job, because they offered me a job for, let's say, 150,000, and the other company offered me a job for 130,000. Books made. It's quite simple which one I'm gonna go with. So even if you feel the answer is going to be no, make it clear to your potential future employer that you are going to mull over the opportunity and get back to them at a predetermined time. And make sure this predetermined time is not too long, everybody. You essentially, once, as I said earlier, you don't want to leave money on the table, and you also don't want to price yourself out of it. So don't ask for too much money, but don't ask for too little either. And remember, people, that not getting a sign-on bonus should not necessarily be a deal killer. You should be more interested, to keep it real, you should be more interested in whether or not you are a good fit for that company, whether you enjoy their particular company culture, and whether you are enthusiastic about what that particular company does. And the most important thing that you should be looking for is whether or not you are going to learn a lot and whether or not you're going to enjoy working there. I cannot stress that enough, everybody. Money, it ain't everything. And it's kind of weird saying that on a financial channel, but I'm keeping completely honest with you. Money chases knowledge, but knowledge never chases money. And a person that's a lot of knowledge and who is very good at what they do, they will eventually be highly compensated for what they do for a living, because you're going to become the 0.1% person in any industry that you particularly work in, or even better, you're going to leave and go start your own company. So if the money isn't there initially, people, but you're working for a very nice dynamic company, eventually you will become that 0.01% industry expert at what you do, and the money will literally follow you wherever you go. I've literally seen this happen my entire career. Okay. Next, the next thing you need to consider when you are negotiating a sign-on bonus is to watch out for what you are actually signing. So one of the worst things when a company says they'll give you a $10,000 sign-on bonus, and the first day you show up, you only see $6,200 or whatever in your account because they taxed you on 38% of what your sign-on bonus actually was. So make sure, everybody, that you can confirm what you are actually getting in your sign-on bonus, because if it's being taxed, the federal government is automatically going to take anywhere from 30 to 40% of it. So what I always ask people straight up was this: okay, that $10,000 sign-on bonus that you're asking me, is that including the taxes or not including the taxes? Do I receive the entire bonus the first day I start? Or do I receive it a year after I start? Is my sign-on bonus taxed, or is it not being taxed? Do I have to pay it back if I don't stick around for a year, or do I automatically get it regardless? These are the kind of questions, people, that you have to be asking yourself. And also, many C-suite static executives get about $100,000 plus sign-on bonuses, but they only receive $50,000 the day they start, and then they receive the remaining $50,000 a year after they built the company. So confirm whether your sign-on bonus is given to you all at once, or in many cases, the higher the bonus, the longer you have to stay with the respective company. For instance, one of the sign-on bonuses I received, they had in bold letters, I had to stay with the company for at least 2 years, or I had to pay it back. So those are the kind of things, people, that you want to be looking for before you decide to go with the company and before you accept the sign-on bonus. Okay. Next, the next thing to consider when negotiating a sign-on bonus is the financial levels that they should be offering you. Okay. So like all things, everyone, there's levels to this game, and here are the levels to sign-on bonuses. As I stated earlier, most C-suite static executives get anywhere from $100,000 to $25 million plus sign-on bonuses. Upper and middle management supervisors, superintendents, and upper professionals get $5,000 to $25,000 sign-on bonuses. Senior sales associates and supervisors most often get between $5,000 to $10,000 sign-on bonuses. Mid-level professionals and IT technicians get between $1,000 to $7,000 sign-on bonuses. And admin and support staff typically get anywhere from $500 to $5,000 sign-on bonuses. Lastly, everybody, I always talk about building generational wealth and becoming the absolute 0.1% best of the best rock star type professional in your respected industry, because those are the men and women that financially emancipate themselves from poverty and that build generational wealth. They are also the ones that get paid the most in corporate America, and they are the ones who go on to eventually start their own companies and who dominate capitalism. So everybody, focus on becoming that 0.1% rock star, regardless of what your industry is. In my case, it's finance, it's construction, and it's engineering. In your case, who knows? Become the best of the best, people. Lastly, the last thing you should consider when negotiating a sign-on bonus is that you should be doing your part, once again, as I stated earlier, to get credentialed, to get your advanced college degrees, to get your advanced certifications, and become an industry leader in your field, because that way you can once again command the most money. If you're in accounting, get your Series 7 financial license and an MBA or a master's in finance. If you're an engineer, get a master's degree and get your PE license, get your professional engineering license. If you're a personal trainer or whatever, find the best possible personal training certification that allows you to train the most clients and charge the most money. Because everybody's like this. There's levels to this game. And getting sign-on bonuses and interviewing for companies is very, very similar to the dating market, people. And just like extremely healthy, extremely fit, very educated, very successful, very tall men always have options when it comes to women, highly educated, well-credentialed professionals with years of experience will always have companies offering them lucrative salaries and sign-on bonuses when they decide to come on board. I've literally seen it in my entire life. It's no different, everybody, than being that really beautiful girl who's in shape with a nice butt and with a nice smile, who's highly educated. You are literally always going to be invited into rooms, into any table that you want, okay? So become the best version of yourself. Study hard, work smart, and don't forget to ask for a sign-on bonus, people, before you sign on that dotted line. This channel, Financipation, is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth. And it's all about financially emancipating yourself from poverty. You can book a one-on-one session with me at any point. The link is below. And I'm not giving you financial advice. You must make responsible decisions based on the thorough, independent research that you do for yourself, okay? Please follow me at the website, www.therealfinancipation.com. My Instagram is @thereal_financipation. My Spotify is Financipation. My TikTok is Financipation, just like it's spelled right there in that sign. My Facebook page, my Facebook tribe is Financipation. Also, check out my digital blog, Financipation. In that particular blog, I go into a lot more detail in regards to HSAs, Roth IRA conversions, the backdoor Roth IRAs, the step-down ladder, all that kind of stuff, okay? It's $4.99 a month, and you are literally building generational wealth for a very inexpensive amount by subscribing to my blog, okay? And check out some of my digital in my e-products below as well. Once again, everybody, please like, please comment, please share, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And it's your boy, Chris. I'm out. Peace.